This is admittedly my first video ever, so I don't really know how to do an intro. However, this is a sort of vlog commentary on my item label peepy and friends submission. For this one, I did an animatic. That's what I do every single time. But I like to play around with both IRL clips, and then I also experimented with clay for this. And this was the first time I've ever done this. And I had finals. This contest started on the 1st of May. And then I had finals leading up to about the 13th. And then the rest of it was me working on this. So it was a little bit of a rush job in like the best way possible. Like, I don't mean to demean it by saying it was a rush job. It was just tight deadline. Didn't have as much time as I thought I would. I have to complete the mid section. Then I have to do this short little transition for between intro and mid. And then the end segment, which is like usually what I put the most effort into. And then after that, it's like exporting and globbing it all together and hoping that YouTube uploads my stuff. Now for the record, I use Clip Studio Paint. And this isn't really a tutorial. Like, sometimes I'll mention the methods I use, but it's not necessarily a tutorial because I am not qualified to tell you what to do. And also, if you're watching this and you're like, God, I need Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint was hundreds of dollars for the perpetual license. And it has to be like I don't know if Pro or EX is a bigger fish, but you gotta get the bigger fish. You do not need it. If you really wanted to, you can take pictures or save your frames as individual PNGs and then go from there. That's how I did my first animatics. They were made on Clipchamp. So do not worry about that. Don't feel like, oh my God, she's working on Clip Studio and I don't have that type of program. You can figure out plenty of ways to do that, but this isn't a tutorial. This is just about the workflow and what I was feeling throughout it. So yeah. But I think, like, for some reason, they've just been, like, stopped selling coconut jellies. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see coconut jellies at other places anymore. After I stopped complaining about coconut jelly not being a thing in boba places anymore, I planned it out. And I thought I didn't follow this, but actually, I went like a day under. I spent 1 day less than I planned for. But yeah, planning it just makes me feel better about myself. Okay, it's like the 14th, I think. Right now, I am doing the backgrounds for the middle part, and that one's gonna be split into like half IRL clip and half animatic. And the IRL clip is how I'm including one of my friends. And then I mentioned him before, but the other two are genuinely helping me with like background design. What they're also doing is that I asked them to little drawings for me to use in the background and such. It was a piece of paper, and then I just bucket tool transparent straight onto where the paper is, so it just gives me like an outline. And then I go in, and then with a little bit of a transform tool, I put them on the paper. The color is really what makes this look not super lazy, even though like it is. It probably still looks super lazy to some people, but yeah, color and like gradient goes a long way with something like this, because otherwise it just kind of looks like that. Yeah, honestly, it's like the last part is the part where I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna have the time or that I want to do that, but we're gonna have to make it do. And I feel like I'm gonna have to cram a little bit to get this to work, or cram at the beginning to like safely be able to finish this in time, which is a little spooky, not gonna lie. Okay, it's okay. We're just gonna finish, because basically I think this would work better if I theoretically drew my backgrounds first, but I don't do that out of laziness, probably. And want to be lazy. Like that. Like every single frame, I have to like fix it up a little bit and like fill in the clear spots and then kind of blend it out with the textured blender. So it's not super obvious, but I don't think people are gonna look hard at it anyways. Like honestly, if you want to make like a silly little animatic like this, that's what I would recommend. People aren't gonna be looking at anything. Like realistically, I'm gonna be for real. You post, probably no one will. Like in all honesty, I feel like anything that I post, people aren't really looking at it anyways. That's kind of like where I feel like I need to let go with like that perfectionism, because it's like, oh my god, I'm being like this for what? For like 5 people and my mom to look at this? He doesn't care about the pixels, and I don't really care if she cares about the pixels. I don't think anyone cares. What are you, some like corporation where like actual professionals work at? No. So if it looks a little like crap, that's okay. And it probably doesn't look like crap because it was made from the soul. So something I was talking about previously in that clip was, honestly, if I feel like my line art's kind of not great, coloring usually makes up for that. Even in like pieces outside of this, it's like if I'm not, I try to get good line art because of course like good foundation, you know. But yeah, I think coloring just helps way much. And you'll see me later where like I am doing something and I feel so bad about it. I'm like, wow, this sucks. It looks like crap. And then I color it and I start to feel way better about it. I don't know. That's just my thing. I think color helps me envision things more. Like, I've started doing more of like a lineless style sometimes when I'm just trying to figure things out. And then also when I design like characters or outfits, I just block out the colors. And also I've been a really big fan of like acrylic markers and just doing like a lineless style. So color is just like not my favorite part, or I don't know. Color is the most fulfilling part, but maybe not my favorite mechanically. Because, I don't know, line art is just hard labor. That's what it feels like. It is just tracing image, or not necessarily even tracing, but just kind of tracing image. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I'm just coming up with stuff on the fly. But coloring, it's like a little bit of a pain sometimes, depending on the palette. But otherwise, I find it the most fulfilling. So for like this part, where we're going through a bunch of scenes that, if you've noticed, have different lighting on each, I have like a little palette with all the Munrun colors. As I said, Youthful is a pain to color because of all the colors he has. And then I just like put layer effects on it to get what I want, whether it's like a multiply with a purple or like a divide or an add with like a yellowish color. That's how I come up with the colors for that. It's nothing really crazy. And I keep it simple, really. Are you ready to do it all over again, Meme? Okay, I don't really know what I meant by, oh, I got the sketch done yesterday, because I didn't do shit for myself. There's a background that needs to be done for this. Not that bad, but what am I supposed to do with that? Plan your projects, I beg, I beg. I did have to make up for it. I had to sketch it out, and then I think I didn't even sketch it out that much. I just made up for it in line art. And I do that a lot because I don't really like backgrounds, and I didn't really have a crazy amount of time, and I probably said that a million times by now, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Planning goes a really long way. But this clip mainly was about the missing poster and then the Mun bus, because I had forgotten to do this little segment, and when I realized that the intro and the mid were so clunky and like they didn't segue into each other, I was like, oh shoot, I was gonna do a transition, I forgot. And at that point, my friends had sent me the poster and the Mun bus, and it worked great. And I just made a little scene around it. The Mun bus, I will be for real, is just a keyframe, select object, move, and then keyframe. That's why I just glides like that. Some Esper, because I was like, you know what, I think I want to get this done so fast that I'm like trying to cram it, and I know I'm gonna burn out if I keep doing that. So I was like, okay, let me shiny hunt. And I forgot that when they despawn, it takes like 5 minutes for them to come back, because I scared them away. when I ran by initially to check that they were there, and then I never let them respawn. So I have just been hitting like plus A plus or plus slightly up A over and over again. They haven't even been there. Also, I'm doing some editing. So by now, I think you've already seen. I've been trying to do other things because like I've been fairly following the overall plan that I did earlier, but ultimately I know if I go at that pace that I'm not gonna be wanting to do this anymore. Like 6 days in, I'm gonna be like, I just want to get this done and I don't care and everything sucks. So I've been trying to like roll my pace a little bit by doing other things. I did get the shiny Esper, by the way. I got an alpha, but it was female and I kind of wanted the male, I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay. I've done some Pokemon. I've played a little Pokemon Go. I've been playing a lot of Tomodachi Life, but honestly, I don't really consider Tomodachi Life. When I want to play a game, or I'm like, you know what, I'm going to invest time in my hobbies, I don't consider Tomodachi Life the game of the day, because I played it every day, so it doesn't really count. I've done some sketchbooking, and that's been neat. I think when you're doing a project like this, it is very easy to get wrapped up in doing it, and plow through like the first third, and by the end, not really be in it anymore. And then also, like, my room's very small. And I've kind of neglected it. So we're going to not do that anymore. And then I finished it up. What can I say? I finished it. And I think I finished it earlier than I thought. I was a good boy, and I did it fast. So it turns out this cake is in fact for the general public. I'm a little scared. It's so shiny in a way that like unnerves me. We're gonna take that off because I don't think I can swallow that. Wish me luck. Here he is. I put him together. He's just polymer clay, to be honest. I didn't really care about texture or anything, so he looks like this. And I didn't really care about blending these parts in at all, since you're just gonna see it from the top. Yeah, we kind of smashed him like a patty, and I'm just gonna go take a bunch of pictures of him now. This was a really interesting part for me to forget to record. So you'll see that I took a bunch of pictures of the same little model and I just kind of squished him and rotated him a bit because I wanted to have this circular rotation scene. So I prepared for that. And then to color them, because this is a white polymer clay, I ended up using like layer effects. So like multiply, overlay, hard light to get the colors. And honestly, I had trouble making the colors consistent. But I like how it looked. I think they came out a little more 3D looking than clay looking just because I digitally colored them. But I do think they came out funny. I feel slammed for time right now. And then, oh my god, I think it was just like looking at other people's stuff. I think at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is so fun. This is so cute. As it's like ramping up, it's not really the competition at all. I don't really care about that. It's more so like the, oh, wow, am I feeling? Ooh. I don't know how to describe it. Like, the feeling isn't they're gonna win and I'm not. The feeling is more so like I feel like I don't have my shit together and they do, even though it's probably the same for everyone. Honestly, it's just like the feeling of cram time that is getting to me. So I have to do that, and then there has to be a little segue into the finale, and then the finale itself, and then some credits that will depend on quality, or it depends on how many days I have left to spare, the quality of them. I have 11 days, this can be done, because my thumb hurts, and then I think I just want to get the finale done. I think I'm just gonna do the finale after this and then work on the transition part after the finale is done, because I feel like I'll just feel better. Math. This one had a sketch to the sketch. Like, I have never done action before, and I didn't have time to do super fluid action. And you'll see some scenes that I end up cutting because, like, my timing was so off. Like, it was way too fast, which was a miracle. It was a miracle. It was a Christmas miracle. Because I realized, this looks awful. I have so much going on at once. And you know what that means? It means you get to cut frames. And that's great for me. That was a win. And I cut those frames. Sometime around this, I ended up getting a writer's callus on my pointer finger because of the way I hold the pencil, it shows up on my pointer finger instead. I opened like the window, like those little like window stick twirly thingies to open the blinds, and it hurt. And I looked and it was like a blister on my finger. However, I will be honest with you, I did not take that much break. I kind of took it easy for like a day or two, but I was still working because I didn't have time. I didn't have time to not do anything. So yeah, you're gonna hear me talk about it. That kind of hurt. It didn't hurt that much, but it was still a little annoying. I have 9 days left, so we no longer have double-digit days, which is scary. So something similar happened with Item Label Christmas a couple of years back, where I ended up making a quota. And by the way, you can be like, well, you should have made a quota ahead of time. No, that's not really how that goes. But I ended up making a quota towards the end of like, oh, I need to color this amount of frames per day in order to get to like being done. And I don't have until the 31st specifically, because I need like a day or two for my stuff to actually upload, because I had an older elderly computer back then, so it did take a while to export things and get them to upload on YouTube. I just need a couple days, like at least a day for like editing and a day to get it uploaded, so it's more like the 28th. Yeah. I'm starting the lining on the finale, and then this little like transition part to the finale is lined already. Or wait, no. Maybe it's lined, I don't remember. But I think I'm gonna have to line like 30 a day for 2 days, about like 30. Because there's 56 frames total. There's some amount in which I have to line. Transition, honestly, I'll be working at my own pace on the side. And then credits and then title page will just be whatever comes out. I think I'm gonna do a crayon drawing because I think I'm gonna be sick doing this by the time that rolls around. Also, I'm going to a card shop today for like, not the first time, the second time. And then this place that I'm going to right now is more for like Magic and Riftbound. So I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. Because, you know what it's like being a Pokemon fan walking into a Magic the Gathering store? Like our fan is so known for just getting scalped and torn to shreds, and all these people that are just in it for the value. And I know that happens in other games as well, but obviously it's a lot more rampant in Pokemon. So you walk in there, or they're like, oh, you like playing card, or you're a TCG fan, what do you like? And then you say Pokemon, and they're like, ah. Like, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Because that, and then like sometimes you go in, and then if you're not the type of person that they consider like a real fan, then they just like brush you off or ignore you. I've had that happen before at a card show, and it was really annoying. So I'm kind of scared. But if it works out, then that's cute and that's fun, and you guys will see. And if it doesn't, maybe you guys will still see it. Because I'll complain about it. But yeah, line art is just hard manual labor. It is just labor. It's just trace the thing. It is a labor. And I mean, it is satisfying. I do have fun with it sometimes. But I think with this little blister on my finger, so itch. But it got done. And I did take a break. So I might have mentioned this earlier, but like when the time crunch was coming in, I was still like sketching, and even by lining, I was like, oh my god, I have so much to do, I'm not gonna get this done. And I knew I was gonna get it done, because I always get things done. But admittedly, I was kind of not feeling great about it. But once these flats went on, by the way, you're gonna see me not really care about like keeping the cow spots consistent, because it doesn't really matter. And I think when you're in a rush, picking and choosing what matters is a big old component of it. And then also you'll see me color some things red before I color them white, because I was being dumb. And I didn't think to change my canvas gray. You should do that, especially when you're working with a lot of like creams and whites. Make your canvas gray, because sometimes you bucket tool something and it doesn't actually fill, and you don't realize it until you're doing like a different step. Now, speaking of choosing your battles, you'll see here for the background, I just went and played Bed Wars and then took screenshots of the backgrounds and then inputted them in. And I also did that for the weapons, and I feel like that works with the item label aesthetic of like randomness in like multimedia. So I didn't really feel like it impacted the piece in like a bad way or anything. If anything, I think it makes it look cooler than if I were to have to draw them by hand, and also it was quicker. So that's another case of like doing shortcuts, I suppose, but making them work for you. And then also, lastly, you'll see that I airbrushed this. It is like a it's like an add or divide layer of yellow on top, and then a multiply layer of like maroon. And I think I played with the color for some parts, only because it was too dark. But otherwise, I kind of, like after those backgrounds, I felt way better. And then I was able to airbrush it, and I was feeling so awesome and cool. And it felt so cinematic looking. For the fireball, that was just another select object, keyframe, all that. And I got it done. I submitted it, and I felt so good. Like, I felt so relieved. So the anxiety that I wasn't gonna get that in was crazy. So I'm recording this like a while after, like maybe a week after, and I just wanted to talk about it from a more retrospective perspective. And I don't know, like it's hard to put it into words without being cheesy, but I had not made a Mun video in a very long time, because okay, I haven't been really openly committed to making animatics, specifically item label animatics, because I don't make a lot of character animatics, mostly because of the perfectionism that I have, whether it's like portraying like humanoid characters a specific way in the right way. So I feel like Mun is the only character where I just feel like free enough to play around and make something even if it's bad. And not gonna lie, objectively, or I don't want to say like all my stuff was perfect, but it's never been bad, which is kind of silly for me, because it's like I put off making stuff because it might be bad, when really you can't really make something that's like god awful bad, sucks, no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Not a thing. So this contest just kind of like forced me to do that again. And I had been experiencing a really bad art rut for the past couple years, which is the main reason why I didn't make anything. So this was just a really nice experience for me to feel that accomplishment again and feel the joy of that process again. And on top of it, I got to incorporate my friends. I know I have not talked about them a lot, mostly just because of like privacy, and like I've been recording stuff and we did do a lot of communication digitally. So there's not really any stuff to record. I just didn't want to make it their problem that I was doing this video. But I am very grateful that they participated in this with me. And I really thought the ideas that they came up with were very funny and very cute. And I always just like when my friends draw Mun Mun, not gonna lie. And even with the IRL clips, somebody did that too. And they got some good clips from their own trip. So I am grateful for that he did take the time out of his day to do that for me. And I think it's neat because you look back on these videos way later and you're like, wow, I remember that point in my life. Because I have other videos that are clips from other vacations that I've taken in my life. And it's like, I probably would have never documented that vacation to that extent if it weren't for that video. Sometimes it's just me hanging out with my friends and it's in places that I don't go to anymore, or people I'm not friends with anymore, or people who just kind of, you're not friends with them, but they've moved on to like bigger things and better things, and it's just a nice way to remember things and remember people in your life. I'm glad and I'm proud of the way that it came out and the fact that it came out at all. And I'm very grateful that I've gotten this experience with my friend, my power of friendship. If you watched it, I'm also grateful for you. Also, if you watched this whole thing, I am grateful to you. If you want some magical grand concept to walk away with, is you can reflect and decide to engage in a project that's larger than your normal ones or more experimental. And there is like an extent of planning it out and thinking of the logistics and staying within scope. But at a point, after you're doing all of that already, you just gotta do it. I did not do videos for a long amount of time because I was very embarrassed of presenting myself, but here I am. I'm doing it. And I didn't do animatics for a long time because I was embarrassed of them looking bad, and rinse and repeat. Yeah, honestly, if you have sorted out all these details and you're still not doing it, just give it a try. And it's okay if it stays private. You don't need to post it, or you can put, I used to make videos and I put them on a Google Drive and I sent them to my friends. Yeah, there's my cheesy little moral of the day. If you have something on your mind that you've been thinking about doing and you've been putting it off, just give it a shot. And draw more Mun Mun, please. Because I really want a season 2.